I was just thinking about something, and one of me and my TikTok friends talked about this a little while ago, and we was talking about how we need to come together and talk and like come together as a people. And I was thinking about the Million Man March that we had several years back. The Million Man March, right? It was a bunch of black people that went to Washington, D.C. It was a Million Man March. And if you look at the people that gave that event and the things that they talked about, it was complete nonsense. It was irrelevant to the black community. It was basically an optimistic meeting. It wasn't really no facts. The people that spoke at that Million Man March didn't really do nothing to elevate people. It felt like it was just a bunch of black people that was together. Cause I didn't learn or see anything that I could walk away with and feel elevated. So me and one of my TikTok friends a little while ago was saying, what if now we have a Million Man March? Because in year 2025, we got different kinds of people on this planet right now. We got some woke motherfuckers down here now that can see above the illusion, right? What if we throw our own Million Man March and bring all the sleep ones in? You know what I'm saying? Instead of us having people like certain kind of people, instead of having these old ass, fake ass, underhand, under the table, fucking traders running our events, why don't we throw our own shit? You know what I'm saying? Because if we was to have another meeting of black people, because I thought about that shit. Like when we had that Million Man March, I was shocked that they even allowed that to be. Because black people, when we come together, that's something that they never want us to do. So I was shocked that they even allowed an event for all black people to attend in Washington, D.C. So I was thinking to myself, you know what? What they did was, before they threw this event, they probably had to sign a contract and talk about what they can't and can talk about. Because there's no way that on January the 6th, think about this, people. On January the 6th, when they invaded that Capitol building, it was nothing but white people there. It was blacks there, but it was nothing but white people there. It was hardly any blacks. And you didn't see no security. You didn't see no military. You ain't seen shit, right? They basically told them to come on in the Capitol and do whatever you want to do. But if they was black people that was in anger like that and they ran up on that building, it would have been the military. It would have been the National Guard. It would have been everybody there. And I'm like, and everybody noticed this shit. This is how a lot of us know that January the 6th shit was completely rigged. It was planned. Trump probably didn't even have shit to do with that. But what I'm saying now is that if we was to throw a Million Man Black Man March right now, and I ain't talking about no protests. I'm not talking about no march where we walk out dumbasses up and down the street. I don't know why y'all do that. I don't know why y'all protest and march. Marching up and down these streets, shouting on what you want and how you want. That shit ain't gonna get us no good. Martin Luther King walked up and down these streets every motherfucking day, and the only thing he did was get his ass whipped. Ain't shit changed, because now in 2025, we even more enslavement now. We are more enslavement now as black people than we was in the 60s. It's just that they are disguising it more. Right now, you're not getting beat with whips and chains and getting lynched. Now you do little shit, your ass going to prison. And now you're going to work for the next 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 years. You now working 8 to 12 hours for a fucking dollar. That's enslavement right there. That's a slave. So in 2025, we are still enslaved. It's just that they doing it in a modern way. But right now, we is far more worse than we was in the 60s. You take $100 and you go buy you a pack of cereal and a gallon of milk and 1 dozen of eggs and bacon. That's $100 right there. We are still enslavement. Ain't nothing changed. It's just that they switch things up to make it look good, to make us think and give us the illusion that we are doing better. Ain't shit going on. You work every fucking day and get taxed every week and every 2 weeks, and at the end of the year, you still owe tax. Like, how the fuck is I'm paying taxes every week or every 2 weeks, and I'm still paying taxes at the end of the year? Like, what type of shit is that? And then when I do spend my money, when I get my taxes, after I pay all the bills and for food in the house, I'm broke. So we are basically working to pay back the slave owner. Because at the end of the day, you were broke. The slave owner took his cut. Now you got to pay for your necessities. Now you broke. Now you got to work like a fucking slave for another week or two just to do the same. I mean, think about this shit, people. We are slaves and don't even fucking know it. You can make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $600,000 a year. The more you make, the more they're going to tax. Then you got to worry about your house, your car, your family, your necessities, your gas. I mean, we basically are not only paying to live, but we are giving our money back to the people that that's giving us the money. And we have to come together, not just as black people, not just as white people. We have to come together as Americans. And not only as Americans, we have to come and create something as human beings. Because even though we live in America, it's other human beings that is on this planet that is living worse than us. Like, don't get it twisted with TikTok right now and with Red Note. And they making it seem like that all these other countries is living good. Because I live in Maryland, right? And parts of Maryland you would think look like California. Parts of Maryland is so fucking beautiful. You would be like, that's Maryland? Yes, that's Maryland. Certain parts in Maryland, you'd be like, what the fuck? It's nasty. So every country and every state got its good and bad parts. You look at California right now, you would think California is nice. Go to California. You got more homeless people in California than you do where you come from. I grew up thinking that Paris was this beautiful country. I would love to go there when I fall in love. You go to Paris, that shit look like a fucking dungeon. It look worse than these African countries. Like, what the fuck is this shit? They feed us illusions. And right now, mentally and psychologically, they are feeding us illusions to make it look like that we are the best country on earth when really we are fucking slaves. That's what narcissists do. People that is manipulating you do. We are so fucking spoiled in dumbness. We're not spoiled because we get whatever we want. We are spoiled in dumbness. Because we don't even know where the fuck we are. We don't even know how this country is. We don't know nothing. People in other countries and nations know more about America than we know. Because we're not educated on our own country. We're not educated on the system and the power that we have over the system. We are so spoiled in dumbness and ignorance until we think that we are privileged. We are not even aware that we are slaves in our own country. We are not even aware of that because we are spoiled in dumbness and ignorance. And until we wake up from being in this zombie-like state, we're going to always be spoiled in dumbness and ignorance. And the thing about it is that this country and the people that is controlling this country, they are feeding our dumbness and ignorance. Because people that has waken up to it and trying to help the world to open up their eyes and see where the fuck we at, those people don't want to wake up. It's kind of like blink twice. Like, I don't want to know that I'm a fucking slave. I don't want to know that they taking advantage of me. I'd rather keep it this shit like it is. Don't wake me up. We are living in a blink twice country. That movie ain't had shit to do with Diddy. We are fucking slaves in our own country. And you got people that want to be that way. They don't want to wake up to knowing that because they like being a slave. You got some people woke up and be like, I don't want this. So they trying to do something. Then you got other people saying, well, I don't mind. Long as my bills are paid. Long as, you know. So see the difference? So we need to do something. At least some people need to do something.